What was really cool about it this year was that we had the first day, which was all about the future. It was visionary. It was, let's see where we're thinking of going. The second day was actually a lot more academic. So it kind of fitted both spaces for people that are creative and where they want to go to, plus the people who are really academic and want to know exactly what's happening currently. I think what's really amazing about this conference is how people really share what's in their minds, what their companies are doing, and that's what really makes PAMRO that different. Is people just love sharing. So there's no holy cows. They don't keep things to themselves, and they kind of share a lot of stuff, and that's what's really beautiful about this.
Great representation from different countries around the world, Africa, international as well. How many countries were there here, would you say?
I can't remember exactly how many countries, but I think there was outside of Africa. I mean, I know we had from Switzerland, we had New Zealand, we had UK, we had America, and maybe a few other countries, and quite a lot through Africa. Obviously, a big contingent from South Africa, Nigeria, from obviously Kenya. We had Cameroon, I think, for the first time. We got, so it's really fun. I think one of the big things that's important for us is that we do get more papers from around Africa. Again, I felt we get too many papers from South Africa, and that's the issue. Most South Africans actually put forward their papers, so we do choose South African papers. But one of the things that we do request is if some of the LOCs in each of the regions actually push their members to actually send us papers so that we can actually get more papers from around Africa. But also, if you can get some French-speaking papers, we've struggled really through the years to get French-speaking papers. That would be really cool.
What were some of the trends you're seeing in market research that have been coming out of this conference? What are the big topics?
I think the big topics for me ultimately is there's two things that I really found. How we move to digital. A few years ago, talking about doing research on digital was an absolute no-no. So there were the two guys, two sets of people that said, yes, digital is the way to go in research, and the other guys saying, absolutely not. You're messing up with research methodology, etc. Whereas you see it coming through this year saying digital is where it's at, it's cheaper, it's quicker, that's where the clients ultimately want it. So it's a cool shift, and I think that's really important. The other thing that came about was really interesting is everybody thinks we're moving away from television and going digital completely, and yet there's still such a strong focus on traditional television. And I found that really, really interesting.
Last night we heard the next year's conference, Marrakesh, Morocco.
Yeah.
Have you begun planning for that, and what can people expect from next year?
Well, I think the PAMRO team and the PAMRO board and the rest of it have got this level now, so we've got to exceed that level. But I think what's really important is we found very few people have come from North Africa to our PAMRO conferences. And let's be honest, the North Africa is part of Africa. So if we can try and include that region, it would really be cool. So that's what we're hoping, to kind of attract some of the North Africans into the PAMRO conference and into the family, into the PAMRO family, and that would be really cool.